95.9.
I did tell you that we're going to have an incredible guest that is going to be joining us on Wallet and Cash today. She's actually the first guest that we've had on Wallet and Cash, and it's a pleasure to have her in the building today. She is Mrs. Agnes Tokunbo Martins. She is the chairman of Guaranty Trust Holdings GTCO, and she's a highly respected professional with decades of experience in finance, actually, which is what makes her perfect for the conversation today. So I want to know today about her experience, but I'm going to let you say hi. Hello. Welcome to the show today.
Hello.
I am so excited to have you here. Like, I really was praying for this moment to come, and it happened.
Glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And if I can just correct something, because you introduced me as the chairman of GTCO, I'm the chairman of the bank.
Okay, that's
GTB.
the GTB.
Yes,
you know, I was
which is a
asking
subsidiary
what is
of
the difference?
GTCO.
Yeah, so GTB is a subsidiary of GTCO, right?
Yes.
So GTCO actually has other subsidiaries, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so it has subsidiaries like the Money Market Fund, Pension Funds, Habari Pay, and the bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was reading through your profile, I saw that you had like a wealth of experience, because it's not easy to work in a particular industry for decades and you're still like really good at it and all of that. So I really want to learn from you and know more about what your experience was like. So after spending 29 years working for the Central Bank of Nigeria, some people would say the place is a little bit more demanding and stuff, especially for you as a woman. How did you deal with that?
Well, working in the Central Bank for 29 years was actually very exciting for me, because I've always been somebody that's, should I say, quite ambitious.
Okay.
And I went in, with the ambition of being the very best version of me that I could be and reaching the peak of my career. And I started off by working towards that. So I went into the Central Bank of Nigeria as an auditor, an internal auditor. And as an internal auditor, I said that, well, I need to be a very good internal auditor, not just an ordinary one, an exceptional one. So every experience, credential, certification that was required at that time to become an exceptional internal auditor, I pursued. And that involved becoming a chartered accountant, becoming certified in information systems auditing and information security management. That's very important today in the age of digital transformation. And getting a degree in information technology in addition. And of course, the experience of not just financial auditing, but information systems auditing. So that I did, I think, for about 16 years. And then after that, and you see, the thing about auditing is that it's not stagnant. You're not sitting at your desk doing the same thing day in, day out. You're doing different things because you're auditing different areas. So even though you're still an auditor, it has variety, and like variety is the spice of life. So after being an auditor for about 16 years, I moved into other financial institutions supervision.
Okay.
And it's still a bit like auditing, but it's more focused in the sense that you regulate and you supervise other financial institutions, and that comprises microfinance, banks, bureau de change, primary mortgage banks, development finance institutions. So I did that for a number of years, and then I became the director of banking supervision. And that was, that focused on supervising commercial banks, and with the objective of making sure that their financial stability, both for the bank and the system at large. So that's how my career was. It was very diverse, very exciting, And I eventually retired from that after 29 years.
That is incredible. Like when you were mentioning all of the qualifications you have, I was like, yeah, of course she's heavily educated. Because like these days, people are just like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But when you tell them what they need to study to get to that level, they're not really interested in like opening the books and studying and getting the certifications, because they feel like if you just watch one video online, you can suddenly become a professional in one thing or the other. But I love stories like yours because it reminds us that you do need the certifications for these things. But now I want to know, because like when you were telling your story, you talked about how you gain leadership in some organizations, and it seems to me like you are drawn to leadership roles, and you said that was your ambition. So what moment was it for you, like when you started working at a CBN? What was that moment that defined your drive to say, I'm actually going to keep going for leadership roles in this industry?
So, leadership came to me at various levels and at different times. So, as a young graduate from university, I had worked a few years before, as a graduate before coming to the central bank.
Okay.
And then I got to the central bank, and you just kind of find out that somehow, maybe because of your qualifications and your personality and your innate characteristics, leadership positions kind of come to you naturally. So I started off as being, a small team. Well, of course, you start off being a team member.
Yeah.
And then you're noticed, and people, your superiors, your bosses, see that, okay, I see some leadership ability in you, the ability to mentor, the ability to get the best out of others, the ability to work with others as a team member, and then you become a leader, a leader of a small team yourself. So it started that way. So I started leading small teams, which continued to grow into bigger teams, until you'd lead a team, and then a group, and then a division, and then it became a department.
Yeah.
And that's the way. Yeah.
I'm so happy to like hear that, because like growth is gradual, and that's how it happened for you. When it comes to finance and banking, it can be like a very intense and highly political environment. What were like the personal values that you had and principles that took you through all this time?
I always believe that you should be very good at whatever you do. So competence was a priority for me. You shouldn't take on. Naturally, you shouldn't be given. And even if you are given, you shouldn't take on what you're not competent to do. Otherwise, you're just going to make a fool of yourself. And then in whatever position you find yourself, integrity is also very important. So the combination of competence, integrity, and really the fear of God had always been my watchwords. In everything I did, I would always make sure that I must be very, very competent at what I'm doing. It's still what I do till today. And then I must display ethics, integrity, and I must fear God and allow God to lead me in everything that I do.
Wow, that's very insightful. Like especially where we mentioned the fear of God factor. That is all of a lot of the things that a young person listening to you right now might actually need. I'm gonna come to you as a woman now, because you are a woman in this industry, and it isn't really very popular to see someone really thrive in the finance industry. I think growing up, I know of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the current Director General of the WTO. But now, like whenever I hear that the CEO of a bank or the chairman of a bank is a woman, I'm like, I want to know who that woman is. You get, so it gets me like really, really curious, because I want to see more women in things like that. So as a woman who's working at the heart of Nigeria's monetary system, did you feel the need to work harder than everyone else, or did you feel somewhat different from your male counterparts when you were working?
Well, one thing for sure is that you have to work at least as hard as your male counterparts. I think it is also advantageous if you can work harder, not just than your male counterparts, but generally everybody. I believe that for you to get to the top, you have to beat the competition. Everybody has to, a lot of people have what you have.
Yeah.
So what is it that makes you stand out? You have to have something over and above the competition. But I would say that in the financial services, in banking, in the financial services sector, I think it was a deliberate attempt or move to get women to be seen and into positions of leadership. So sometime in 2012, there was the decision that women should occupy, I think it was 40%, I think it was, of leadership positions and that kind of thing. Now, it's not as if women haven't always been doing well, but there was that mindset that women are only good for certain positions.
Yeah.
We at the central bank, I think we were one of the first institutions to break that wrong attitude and take deliberate steps to looking for, the management then looked for women that could actually perform, as well and probably even better than their male counterparts. So it wasn't because we were women. In 2012, there were about 5 of us females that were made directors, the highest number in the history of the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Wow.
And the management of the central bank then didn't stop at the central bank. They also told the banking industry to do the same thing. So I think there were about 5 of us appointed that same year, 2012, and we all did very well. None of us were a disappointment or a letdown. So it was both. The women were already prepared, and then there was a deliberate effort on the part of management to make sure that there was diversification in leadership, which has advantages in itself.
I really do love that, because one thing about women, we're always ready to take charge. We're just waiting for someone to say, here's the opportunity, and then it's yours. Okay, you've worked in the central bank, and I want to know what it was like transitioning from working for the government to working for a commercial bank. How was it for you?
It wasn't too difficult. I think wherever you're being a leader, if you're a good leader, it's the same skill set, the same attitude that you require. One thing that is important, that you have a teachable spirit, the ability to learn. So you move from government, you move to the private sector, you still need the leadership skills of being competent, in addition, having empathy, being able to listen, being able to teach. So all you really need to do is that where I'm leading right now, what are the objectives? What do I need to work towards? What targets do we need to meet? So I wouldn't say it wasn't difficult at all. It was the same skills that I used when I was working for government that I still use now.
That is wonderful. You mentioned that it was a deliberate attempt for women to be put in leadership positions, especially in the finance sector. Do you think, especially now in 2026, do you think there are still gaps that need to be covered?
In 2026, I think the industry, the country as a whole is maturing. I don't think we need to preach the gospel of women in leadership anymore. I think most organizations have seen for themselves, not just in the financial services industry, and industries, organizations are deliberately looking for competent females to diversify their boards.
Okay, that is very, very good. And now there's so many young women who are listening to Wallet and Cash right now. So I want to know, I want you to give them like an advice. What career decisions do you think they should make early on if they would like to follow in your footsteps?
I would say that wherever they are right now, they should make sure, just like I did, that they're the best in their field. Not everybody will be in financial services. I mean, new doors are opening today, new opportunities, AI, the digital world and that kind of thing. content creation like you young people talk about and stuff like that. But whatever field you have a passion for, make sure that you're the best. Look around you. What are the others doing? What edge are you going to give yourself above it? And then work towards it. And most importantly, allow God to lead, direct your footsteps in addition to your hard work, and definitely the sky will not be your limit.
That is such an amazing advice. I really hope that someone who is listening is taking home something there. When it comes to you've worked for like so many years and you're still working even now. I want to know if you've ever really thought of maybe, or if you've had people that you've mentored and you're hoping that they would do great things, or are you sometime in the future planning on getting mentees, people that you want to mentor, or have you done that in the past?
When I was in the central bank, I had mentors. I did have mentors, and then I had mentees. I had mentees until I retired. I still do.
Okay.
Some of them that are still there still reach out to me to ask for career advice. If they want to make career moves, they still reach out to me to find out what I think. And there have been a number of occasions where I've had the opportunity to have talks, in the public,
doesn't like
workshops or seminars and that kind of thing.
Are you open to doing stuff like that? Because I could host something and invite you. I'm actually serious.
I'll think about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, and I've had one or two people reach out to me that, I'd like you to be a mentor, and I've always said yes. I've had people reach out to me on LinkedIn asking to be a mentee, and I say fine.
That is really, really cute. It seems like something I would do, actually. Sometimes I do send out messages and I'll be like, I'd love to hear from you, or I'd love to learn something from you. And yeah, they do give positive response too. Okay, so this is the final question I'm gonna ask, because like we've had a really good run. I want to know what does leadership, like women leadership, look like for you now after all of the things that you've experienced in the industry?
I think that woman leadership is leadership. We shouldn't look at ourselves as women. We should just look at ourselves as leaders that are competent. We have the ability to do the job. We're the best possible. We will succeed. Ambitions, goals, targets will be met. We're able to galvanize our team to deliver results. We're unstoppable. So I don't think it has to do with gender. If anything at all, the fact that you're a woman gives you an edge, because we have certain characteristics which I won't talk about here.
Yeah.
The fact that we can multitask, we have more empathy. I think we're more. I think I'll stop there.
Okay, I think I got it. I got what you were trying to say. But thank you so much for being on Wallet and Cash today. It has been a really good run, and I've learned so much from you. I'm sure the person listening right now has also learned so much from you. And hopefully sometime I'll send you a request about the panel discussion that I talked about, because it's going to happen. Now that I've said it, it's actually going to happen. Okay, thank you so much. That is a wrap on Wallet and Cash.
IO 95.9.